So everybody wants to know, how do you get good? And I'm here to say, you get good by making a lot of art. Bad art sometimes too. Is it all bad though? No. What you have here wasn't just a bin that I dumped on the floor. And that's not what I'm going to be doing in this video, but the point is, this is like probably 2 or 3 years old, a bin of things that I have. There's probably over 100 things just in that bin alone. There's all kinds of progressions out. What I do is I'll curate myself, because it's been over a decade now. Eventually I'll go through it and get rid of some things, and then I'll like keep some stuff too, like some stuff that's really hitting me, you know, like, ooh, that mark was good, ooh, that moment was good. But you know, through it all, ooh, this one's really good, I'll keep that one for sure. So these are all like signposts, little clues, your own inspiration, right, over the years. Now, so I'm gonna take this stuff off of the wall. Those are some new things in progress. But this is a roll of paper, large paper. It was gifted to me in an unusual way, which I won't go into now. But I'm gonna take this up and we're gonna just have fun and kind of maybe we'll pull out some of these things and like, we won't like specifically like copy it. We might emulate it, but we might just like look for the feeling, you know, of like through the past history, what's like really still jazzing you up, right? Because like it's not all gonna resonate with you, even you, your own work, your past work. Some of it's not going to really, you know, hit the mark. But we can always make another mark and have another moment, and that's what's great about when you're in your practice daily. When you're working away, when you're growing beyond, say, even the sketchbook, right? Because that happens. Eventually you have to get outside of those closed little rooms, sketchbooks, and move beyond. Alright, so I hung up the paper, but first let's just go over a few things that I pulled out of that bin. This one, I like the text that's going on, and I can see some interesting marks. The thing I like to say about looking through our history of marks and what can be really important is, you know, this is at least from 2022, 2023, maybe even some of that might be a little bit older. I should probably date everything. I don't always do that, but I know it's old. We're looking for exciting things that hit us when we pull something back out. Ooh, you know, it hits you. Maybe not everything feels resonant, you know, because if you're going through this art journey in your art process and in your art practice, you know, all the time, you're gonna eventually not like things you do. It's just the nature of it. But there's might be exciting things, simple things even, like this is just a randomness of it, you know. I really like that. That's still applicable today, and it shows up in different kinds of ways. Here we have like a little collage. Ooh, what I like is that like raw, gritty surface. That, again, that's still showing up in my work today, just in a different way. This is, the off, little uneven edge. A lot of that stuff started to come out a couple of years ago when I put it aside, but now that's becoming a big theme. Just like, ooh, you know, that exciting. It hits you. And, you know, sometimes you want the whole, like, maybe show, like, Beautiful Mistake to be like resonating like that, and I feel like it has been and was, and through the people's responses and how I feel about it still looking back. And that's kind of the goal, right, is to like have these smaller moments that will hit you in the heart, maybe. Just this. Ooh, that blue, and the way this aqua is like, you know, it's intense. This is kind of more of a simplistic drawing. I like that, you know, space. Believe it or not, but it's a little bit different there. And then again, we got this guy. That's a nice off the edge thing, and that intensity of the red. This just black, simple mark making. Another more drawing. Oh, these are really cool. They're kind of monochromatic. Still got that blue in there, though. Yeah, I gotta have a color in there. I don't know. This is always something that stuck out for me and happened years ago. I always keep this one. Like, a lot of times I'll go through that bin and get rid of stuff. It's just time to cycle through, put new stuff in there, and move it out, you know. You keep that flow going. But this one I could always see being super large. And then I got this other collage going on, a little loose there. But, you can also trace the, besides the memory and the time through the line and the mark, you can really start to see your visual language emerge. And that does take time. And it will change. And that's something we could all get like used to, especially if we're new, because there's a lot of fear there. Beginners want to know. They want to know. We all want to know, right? Sometimes the answer comes in the strangest way, not how you would expect, in art and living. So get comfortable with the uncomfortable, and that's how we stay in our practice. We're uncomfortable and we keep moving through, which eventually the comfort comes. But then, of course, when we go to the next level and layer, more uncomfort comes. It's just the process. It's like shedding skins. So what I'm going to do here on this large paper is just kind of use those drawings I just went through, those little offshoots, and just kind of riff off of it, but real loosely. I'm just gonna grab what's around me. So, you know, it's just acrylic paint, mark making materials. You know, it really doesn't matter what you're using. It's all about how you bring yourself to the moment in the mark. Use your creativity, open up to more possibility, get crazy maybe, like use something you shouldn't use. Like, experiment, like slap it on, make a mark. I really encourage my students to experiment all the time. Don't listen to the rules. Because you'll find when you start going off track, sometimes the biggest moments come there. But you only can get there if you deviate. So deviation should be the norm, and we'll learn to express and explore and experiment all through that process. Right? Just put some on the end of that stick. This will be our first mark. This isn't a paintbrush, this is a paint stirrer. And then just go. Slap it on there and get it started. So we really just want to focus on allowing and opening, and it's not so much in the thinking, it's moving it down into the body, letting it expand through the heart too. At least that's how I see it.
So I'm just gonna start, and I'm grabbing what was around me. Intuition is kind of just about feeling into the moment. So sometimes that can just be what's around you. Feel into that and select the color that way or the material that way. It's like, oh, here it is. It's just here in the moment. And so we're really unfolding and opening up to more in the process of it all, and just moving through. And in this case, it's just an exploration. It's just about having fun. It's just about letting go. It's about seeing what's inside. Sometimes that's scary, to just look at what's inside. Not just an art, but living. But when we can open up deeper and wider to the expressions and just like let it be, you know, then we can learn to see a lot more of the picture, internally and externally, when it gets made into art.
So I hope you enjoyed this exploration, looking back through into my own inspiration, opening it up a little and getting vulnerable in the process of all, and then like taking what we see and making something and just having fun. And it's really through that experimentation and that expression and opening up to all sides, we can really find ourselves come alive. And here on this channel, it's art making plus the deep philosophy and the spirituality, and I'm gonna talk more about the energy and the emotionality as we get moving here a little bit more. And this video here about vulnerability, I sing a song, so I'm opening up to more sides and letting them out, right? So in that video, it's a great example of me just starting out a new direction with another side. When you start something, it's not always clear, and sometimes there's a lot of fear that rises. So when we learn to face the fear, we open up to more of everything, and that is where infinite creativity and art live, and we are just like a mirror of that creation. And it can be this divine celebration and dance, you know? And that's what I'm here to teach and share and speak into more and more for these times and beyond.